Okay, 250 minutes, made myself a cup of tea, I'm ready to go again. I think what I'm going to do is I need to work out where my mouse is actually pressing visually in the top right corner. So I'm going to create just a circle, I think. I'm going to create something to visualize what I'm doing. Connect this to my scale. Make this way smaller. Why can't I see this? Oh, I connected to the wrong thing, that's why. Let me just make sure this recording is going. I think it is. We good. Right, okay, so now I have a dot. Now if I was to put that dot at, well, let me just do it. So let's link our output. So you can see that is the issue there. So when I click it, it's going to go to where the white dot is. And that's because my UVs aren't mapping properly with the maths that I have included. So let me switch this to be a panel and do roll U and roll V and U and V. Create a second version of this, plug that in. So there's just a slight disparity, and that is because I scale the value in, what is it by, 0.8, 0.9. So if I was to add that scaling to my output, so no, I want to add, and let's do an expression times 0.9. Well, no wonder. What the hell? Oh, select is redundant, sorry. So that's wrong, so do I want to undercompensate for it? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So all I would need to do is, well, I could just do the same thing here. So add a null, insert an expression, times it by 0.9. Panel ref. Making sure that these are lining up properly. So there is a mistake somewhere, because that should be the same reading as my null 3 down here, but it's not. To roll you and no, because they're the exact same. So when I click here, oh, is it because I'm not? Let me just try using roll U and roll V instead of the ones that are active on the select. Why are the numbers different still? Maths negative 0.5 to 5. Uh, 1.1 because I hadn't put it right. Okay, that's good. So now that means that everything is working. But I think I want to change this to on value change. Hook up the whole node again. I'm actually going to copy and paste, chop execute. Move point. I'm going to take my whole code from here, put it in there. So now it should update the normal U every time. So is that printing every time? If target ends does not equal 1. So basically while target is selected, value is equal 1, then it should be moving the thing. Let's just make sure it's getting into this piece of code. Print in here. Oh, let me hide my other prints. So it is getting in there, I just don't think it's cooking every time. Because you can see we're actually starting to get the effect we want. And if I redraw our we're actually starting to get somewhere. Okay, so why isn't it executing every loop? So when I click and hold, it should constantly be printing in here, but it's not. So it's checking value 1, target ins line 1, picker 39. So that is true. Maybe if I just do this as a single line. But it will only cook once every time the value changes. Will it? I broke something. -1. So basically what I need it to do is I need these to update. So let's have a look at panel and see what updates. So if I'm inside and I click and move, row U and row V stop updating, but U and V then start updating. So what can we do to solve that? So we want to include U and V as well, and remove that and remove that. Okay, so we are going to have to do it with code. So I'm going to delete everything. Or not everything. So we want every time that a value in here changes, so let's do select while on. Right, let me just put some music on. Okay, so I think I deafened myself by starting that new music track, but okay, so while one is selected, we want to get the UVs. Do the UVs matter beforehand? Yes, because that's where it's going. Okay, let's think about this logically. When the mouse is not pressed, we want to use the rolling UVs. When the mouse is pressed, we want to use the generic UVs. Maybe I'm just going to use an execute instead, a panel execute. Would that work? So why don't we do UV roll U roll V select value changing, print this in here. So now we should get a constant update no matter what's happening. We also get that. So okay, so in here we can do what did we say? Channel is not defined. Okay, so we have that should be working now. Can you reference print panel.u? No, you can't. Let me have a look to see if there's a panel class. There you go, panel value dot name. Okay, so we want to get the role U is equal to panel dot if panel value dot name is equal U, U is equal to panel value dot file. Local variable U reference before its assignment. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so let's introduce a panel that we can reference. Oh, we've already got one. Okay, so we have ref is equal to operator ref panel. Ref panel. U is equal to ref. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we can do the check. So we want to say if, let's just add in select as well. So let's say select is equal to ref select. We say if select does not equal 1, or no, if it just if it equals 1, then we want to do something. Actually, we don't even need that, so I can just do copy that, delete that. If it is selected, U is equal to U, but until then it is equal to roll U. So now I want to add the code for move point. Which in here basically says if 1 is selected, and if target does not equal -1, so we need to say target is equal to operator picker row 1 target ints is not defined. Norm U is not defined, we just want that to be U and that to be V. Alright, okay, yeah, we're not normalizing U and V yet, so they're still going crazy. They're basically -0.5 times 1.1 out. So while we're in here, we want to do that, so we want to normalize the U. And how do we do that? So we want to X take away the minimum over the maximum take away the minimum. So let's double check that. So we have, let's say our cursor is in the dead center, which is zero, take away the minimum of X, which is -5. divided by negative 1.5. Does that sound about right? Right, okay, so let's clear that. So negative 0.5, sorry, 0.5, take away I think the answer to that is 1. So it's basically it's negative 0.5 divided by 1. I have no idea what I'm doing. This should be easy, but that doesn't seem correct. How to normalize coordinates? Python. I want someone to tell me the maths so I can work it out rather than just someone posting solutions. Alright, okay, that's getting us nowhere. Let's do this in our heads. It's been a very long day and maths is hurting, but... So, we are getting coordinates, so... UV coords go from... Okay, maybe I'm being stupid, but I think I just need to take away 0.5. Oh, I think we might be somewhere. Okay, so I think what's happening is we're getting outside our coordinate. So let's make our render picker bigger and see if that works. Okay, so that picked up 2. So we don't want that. Because what is causing me to go outside of here? What I need to happen is basically once one has been selected, I need it to stop paying attention to anything apart from what I tell it. And by that I mean that I should be able to drag these points if I want to infinity. This is super positive though, this is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, we are getting somewhere. So basically, if select is equal to 1, I want it to forget everything else.